Hello everyone, my name is Prodesilaos, also known as Prot. In this video I want to talk to you about 1 year at the hut, but before I do that, I want to play some music because my dog over there, Atlas, is really interested in this. And then I will tell you more about the actual topic of this video, which is me living here for a full year now. So there is Atlas. Raizu was also here, but he's not as interested in this musical instrument. Let's play. I don't know how to play. This will be a disaster, but let's give it a try nonetheless. Maybe he will sing along. We will see, but maybe he is too lazy now. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. So he enjoys it. My other dog, Raizu, isn't really interested in this. So he is right there. He is going for his little walk around the area. So yeah, this is the hut, folks. I have been living here for a full year now. Well, give or take, depending on when you start to count. But the point is that I finished the shelter. So what you see behind me, I finished it in late July of last year. The window was not here. The window, I installed it later. This is a donation that I got from the sister of my former neighbor. They were renovating their house and they had lots of useful things that I received and lots of other useful things that I couldn't accept because I simply don't have enough space for them. Anyway, how is life here? Because this is like the question I get all the time. Let's start with how it is to live here in terms of the seasons, in terms of the weather. Uh, this kind of wall that you see over here isn't really a thick wall. It provides some level of insulation, but not much. So this means in practice that during the summer, temperatures will be high. During the winter, temperatures will be fairly low. And I don't have any form of central heating or air conditioning here, any form of heating or air conditioning for that matter. It doesn't matter if it's central or not. And so, of course, I have to live in accordance with what the season dictates. You may have seen me in videos during the winter, for example, in one-on-one coaching sessions. You may have seen me wear 2 or 3 jackets and I look about twice the size. And it's not because I hit the gym or anything. It's simply because I have to wear extra clothing to stay warm. It's as simple as that. During the summer, of course, it's easier because I can keep the window open, I can keep the door open, I can wear fewer garments, and that is more tolerable. Still, it is quite warm. The good thing here in the mountains of Cyprus is that even though it is warm, as is the rest of the island, the mountain always gets cool or even cold at night and in the early morning hours. So when the sun is not out, it starts to feel chilly here. And it doesn't matter, you always have to be prepared for it. You always have to have extra clothes. And for me, concretely, this means that I don't have this kind of insufferable heat throughout the day. So it gets cooler now, it's nice and cool, and I get to enjoy it. My everyday life here is very simple. I spend my day outside here doing stuff around the hut, clearing the land, planting trees, doing some some flood control projects, that sort of thing, infrastructure work. So I do all these things to basically make this a more habitable, a more safe place for me. When I am not outside, I am on the computer and I am doing work there. Either I am writing something for my website, some article, I am doing some programming, maybe I am maintaining one of my Emacs packages, or I do coaching with people. So there is that, and this basically describes my whole day. Every morning and every evening, I will go for a long walk with the dogs. And a long walk for me is a very long walk. We are talking about several kilometers per day. And this is also not an easy walk. These are hard to very hard, depending on your level, of course. But basically, I will go towards the mountain on the other side of this valley, and I will go up the mountain. So for me, it's an everyday experience to just go up and down the mountains in this valley. I really enjoy it. The dogs like it as well. But of course, it's not the same as a walk in the park where you just go at a leisurely pace. Here, it's much more intense. During my walks, I get to encounter wild animals such as eagles, owls. Of course, owls are a night bird. Eagles, owls, falcons, foxes, rabbits, all sorts of other animals as well. There are frogs and lizards and non venomous snakes as well as venomous snakes. So I get to see all that this island has, all the animals here, I get to see them. And for me, it's a very exciting moment whenever I get to encounter an animal like that. I really like it. It is the highlight of the walk. But the gist is that my life here is kind of boring. Most people would be extremely bored after, I don't know, a couple of days here. Once that initial impression of, oh, this looks great, once that initial impression wears off, then I think most people would be extremely bored here because there is really nothing. There are no people around. I am the only one here. There are no places to go. It's not like you can cross the street and go to a restaurant or a club at night or whatever. This is just the countryside. This is just a quiet place in the mountains. There is a village further up the valley, and I live outside the village. So technically, I don't live in the village, but for administrative purposes, I count as part of the village, even though in practice I am not part of their network here. It doesn't make any difference in my life because I don't go to the village. I don't spend time there apart from buying stuff, groceries. Apart from that, I don't spend any time at the village. I could go to some cafeteria, maybe have a drink or something, but I don't. And even in terms of the drinks, it has been a long time since I quit alcohol and even coffee. So I don't even have that desire to have one such drink. Life here, as I said, is simple. It is boring. However, for me, life here is relaxing. It is a life of contemplation. It is a life that is not easy, though. It is a life that gives you the space, the freedom to think and to be at peace. But it is a life that requires a lot of work. This is not for the faint of heart. The amount of work I put here is simply a lot. And work starts very early in the morning, so I may wake up at 5 o'clock, which is my usual time in the morning, and do some work such as water the plants, and then go for the long walk, and then come back, do more work, and then if I have to go on the computer, do work there, and then when I am done with the computer, I am outside again, resuming some activity. Basically, here there is a lot of upkeep. There is a lot of work that has to be done. Like you have to clear the land because vegetation keeps growing back. You have to make sure that all the plants have their water, that you have cleared them of their weeds, and so on and so forth. When it comes to the pipes, because you see, maybe you see, I don't know actually if it's captured in the video. So I have pipes here all over the place. When it comes to the pipes, I have to be sure that they are not clogged. I have to check with the dam that I have built further upstream that everything is in order. So every day there is something more to do. Of course, eventually, after a long time, when I have done all the infrastructure projects, when I have really made this my space, eventually the workload will lessen. But until that happens, here life is quite busy for me. So it is a life of contemplation. So the mind gets to exercise, as it were, but it is also a life of physical work. It is mind and body that are both put to work here. And for me, this is great because, as a philosopher, is what I appreciate the most. Life where I get to practice and I get to actually do things and not entertain thought experiments for the sake of thought experimentation. There really is action here, and for me, everything unfolds in action, and withdrawing into a theoretical world isn't really that much of interest. So I really appreciate it here. In terms of the hut itself, the building is really basic. Uh, I lack a lot of things. Kitchen appliances are still missing. I need to have a better insulation because there still are water leaks. So the base of the walls here, I still need to insulate it again, another layer of insulation. The roof still has parts that leak water whenever it rains, so I need to take care of that. And there are other things that need to be done. I need to add more windows. I need to have more doors and stuff. Basically all the things that make a house a decent place. I still need to work on those. However, this is a work in progress because it's a matter of available resources. So, of course, I cannot just do everything out of sheer will. It's not that I don't want to do it, it's that I cannot. And so I have to wait and space things out. Speaking of will and wanting to do things, here the hut is the product of my hard work, the product of my unflinching will, unflinching commitment to this project. However, even though I put all the work, even though I am the driving force behind it, I could not have done any of this without the help of a large number of people. Many locals, as well as people online, have helped me make this possible in their own way, each of them in their own way. Some contributed money, others gave me raw materials, others helped me carry stuff using their vehicle. So, long story short, this would not have existed without the contributions of many, many people, the unsung heroes. So, I don't want to give the impression that this is just some rugged individual who just make things happen out of sheer will and proceeds to homestead the land, mix their labor with the land, and so on. That is a nice fantasy, but it is just that fantasy. Without the help of others, without tools, without knowledge, without resources, you cannot do anything on your own. And I did not do anything on my own, and I want this to be absolutely crystal clear. So yeah, there is that. Right now, we are experiencing a drought. The whole island is experiencing a drought. Water here is scarce. There is water flowing from the stream only during the night, and I have a couple of barrels which I fill with water, one drop at a time, little by little. And during the day, I have to use a bucket to distribute water across my land for all the plants here, for all my needs here. And it's something that I do with alacrity, even though this is a misfortune. I still do it with alacrity. I still see the positive side of it. I still see the fact that I get to exercise and I get to tend to my plants with extra care, with extra commitment. And for me, that is really nice because I care about the plants and I care to see this advanced, this complex living organism, to see it and to witness it grow a little every day and to notice and to observe its behavioral patterns. Plants are amazing, but I won't go into the technicalities right now. Maybe we can discuss this some other time. But the point is that I get to have a very close relation with all the forms of life that are under my stewardship, that I am protecting and helping to grow. And seeing your plants grow, seeing your trees grow, is kind of the pleasure, I think, of the person who does this sort of labor. And for me, this definitely is the case, and I consider myself blessed, consider myself lucky to be able to do this. I don't know how the winter will be this year. The past winter was not as rainy as I was expecting. Of course, whenever it would rain, I would have to drain buckets of water from inside the hut due to the leakage that I already mentioned. But there wasn't that much rainfall and there wasn't any snowfall either. Well, there was once, but it was not much. However, it might get worse this year, so of course I need to take my measures. I definitely need to waterproof this place. I hope to be able to do this before the end of September, or at least later, but ideally before the end of September, because then is when we start to get some rainfall here. As for the winter, maybe I will be able to insulate the place a bit better, or maybe I will have some form of heating. I will see, but nothing major because those are advanced. Those will need a lot of resources, and it's not a priority, frankly, because I can live, I can survive just fine with extra clothing. So yeah, there is that. My plan, of course, is to continue living here. I have no place to go. I live here, I work, I do the coaching work. When some days there is enough work, other days it is quiet. I proceed one step at a time. I cannot make grand plans. I don't have contracts with anyone. I don't have a secure income. I don't really know how things will unfold. So I proceed one small step at a time, and I am happy to be doing this. And I hope that everything will go well. And if it does, then okay. If it doesn't, then so be it. I will see what I can do then, if anything. That's all for now, folks. Thank you very much for your attention. Maybe I should try to play one last time, but Atlas is already asleep, and I don't know how he will react. But let's see. Let's see. So there is that. Thank you very much for your attention, folks. So I will go and close this video. So take care, and I will do some other video again, keep you posted. As always, I am doing a lot of work at the hut. There is still a ton of work, and maybe in 5 years or whatever, there won't be that much work. But until then, I continue working every day, and I do it with a great deal of enthusiasm. I never give up and I never take a day off. I never feel lazy about it. I really enjoy it and I do it with my undivided attention. Take care, folks. Goodbye for now.